we're back. David's schedule hasn't allowed him to join us for a few episodes. In fact, we'll probably be doing the rest of the cryptid series, just Amy and myself. Amy is here with me.
Hello.
You people with video can see that, but if not, you had no clue until just then. So anyway, we're back with our cryptid series, and we're doing Hatman, I think.
Yeah, we're doing Hatman. Hatman.
Just so happened to have a prop handy.
Yes.
Well done. So if you've never heard of Hatman, he's creepy.
It's extra creepy.
So he falls for me. But prior to us starting this, and Amy and I really talking about some of the less common cryptids. Hatman I just kind of pushed him under like the serial killer / potential serial killer urban legend category, but after kind of looking into him, I could see him being a cryptid.
I think your exact words when I brought him up was, "Who's Hatman?"
Yeah, no, I had no clue.
No idea.
Never.
Which is fine
heard.
because a lot of people don't, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that have had a lot of really weird experiences with him.
Right.
And I haven't seen him myself, but I've had an
Thankfully.
experience. Yeah, oh my goodness, he's terrifying. But I've had an experience that parallels a lot to Hatman sightings or experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of clung to me when I first heard about him, because I was like, oh crap, that could be the guy. But we should start with telling the story of Hatman for people who don't know who or what he is.
Okay.
He's super fun though. Fun, right. Creepy, fun.
So essentially, like so people have reported like waking up and like they just see this kind of shadowy figure. Yeah.
Yeah, they see like this
kind of got like
6-7 foot tall, really broad-shouldered, shadowy man, and he doesn't have a lot of features to him. You know, usually when you wake up, it's in the middle of the night and it's dark, or maybe it's like just getting light out and it's kind of dark-ish, and you can't really see any big features. When you first wake up, you don't look at your surroundings super close. But he always has like a well-dressed, sometimes a suit, sometimes a cloak or something. And he always has some sort of wide-brimmed hat on. I've heard everything from top hats, bowler hats, cowboy hats.
Right.
It's kind of different, but it's always a wide-brimmed hat.
10-gallon hats.
10-gallon hats, sure, yeah. But
for you Texans out there,
he's not really usually doing anything per se.
Right, he's just chilling.
He's just either, some say he's standing on the other side of the room in the doorway. Some say he's standing in the closet doorway. He's at the foot of the bed. There have been some rare occasions where people will claim that he's standing, or like he's standing on their chest, or he's straddling them.
Mm-hmm.
Like always their chest though, like he's right here. I don't know, it's really creepy. He doesn't physically do anything to them. People will claim that they have sleep paralysis, but as soon as he's gone, that sensation's gone as well. Which if you haven't experienced sleep paralysis, it's really terrifying. You wake up and you can't move. Like your brain's awake, but your body's not awake. It's really terrifying because you feel like you're not in control. You're stuck. You can't do anything.
And sleep paralysis, and I will say it's often accompanied by people seeing different things. Not always Hatman, but like I've talked to another couple of people who said that they have had sleep paralysis, and it was like accompanied by like vivid visions or something.
Yeah.
But it's the thing about Hatman is that he's so widespread. Like the experience of sleep paralysis is not unique to just a handful of people, but you would expect, like, if people were going to have hallucinations, that people would have wildly different hallucinations.
Right. Yeah.
Like we wouldn't be talking about, hundreds of people who've seen Hat Man. We'd be talking about, like, people who, like, 5 people who've seen Dog Man.
Yeah.
And then 5 people who've seen...
It's like, if you see Bigfoot out in the woods, maybe you're judging a height difference. But if you see somebody in a room that you sleep in every night, you know the height of that doorway. You know it's always the same height, always the same hat type.
Right.
And they will also say he has glowing red eyes. Mm-hmm. That's pretty specific.
That is very specific.
It's just really creepy how these people in so many countries, hundreds of countries around the world, are saying they see this guy. Mm-hmm. This specific guy.
Right.
So there's theories that he could be like a shadow person. Mm-hmm. Oh dear, there's a cat again.
My arch nemesis.
She just wants to be on the table.
You people out in TV land, that was a special treat.
And y'all probably also heard her meow.
Yep. At any rate, across, like, multiple countries, like, so it's not just one culture, like...
No, it's multiple cultures, people who have all different kinds of religions. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
But a theory is that he could be a shadow person, which shadow people are, that dark shadow you see in the corner of your eye. It's really creepy, but they don't do much. They just kind of hang out. Mm-hmm. The Hat Man is said to sometimes arrive in your bedroom with a group of shadow people. And these people who get the sleep paralysis with him there will say that the shadow people will, under his command, beat them up. And then when they finally wake up, or when they finally, like, the Hat Man leaves and they're able to move again, they'll have these bruises and scratches on them that weren't there before. Sometimes they say that the shadow people try to choke them, and they can't do anything about it. It's really weird and terrifying.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not about that life.
It's different than a lot of the other things, where this kind of, instead of being just another shadow guy, he kind of feels like his own entity.
Right.
And he'll enter a house, so he won't just go through walls like a ghost. He'll either come through a window or a door. People who say
a bit more corporeal than usual shadows.
Yeah, like they'll see him enter or leave through a doorway.
Right.
Which, that's the idea of having a stranger in your house without your knowledge is terrifying.
Right.
That it makes you feel unsafe and uncomfortable in a spot that's supposed to be safe and comfortable.
Right.
This hat is too big for my head.
That's okay. It's a little too big for mine. And that was when I had hair.
Yeah,
so
this is your hat.
It is my hat.
I'm wearing a cowboy hat for people who cannot see us.
Ah, yes. Forgive us.
I should have said that sooner.
We should have. I mean, it's a hat.
It's a hat.
But yeah, it very much reminded me, whenever I started like talking to you about it, it immediately kind of reminded me of the episode of Doctor Who, where they were seeing, like, these sort of blurry figures all across London at the, like, certain time every day.
Oh yeah.
And it turned out to be, like, Cybermen from, like, the other dimension or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to cross over. And there I go again, being real loud. But no, like, who knows? I mean, nobody knows what shadow people are or what Hat Man really is. I mean,
there's all a bunch of different theories, but he seems to be different, but he's interacting with them.
Right.
So what kind of entity is he really?
Yep. Like on the
is he everywhere?
Yeah, like is he on the ethereal plane and then interacting with, like, the Shadowfell, or like what's this guy's deal? And the it's really cool though, going back to having so many different people kind of experience the same thing. There's it's been a little while since I've looked into it, so I don't know what new developments have arisen from the idea of the collective unconscious.
Right.
but like if you don't know, it's the idea that like which of you have a psychology background, so I'm sure you've heard of it. But it's the idea that it's sort of like genetic memory, like how different animals have instincts to travel to certain mating grounds or
right,
whatever.
like birds go south and fly north depending on the season.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, salmon were like they swim upstream for no reason other than they feel that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Humans have the theory is humans have a lot of these same things, and that some of them get very specific. So sometimes it kind of makes me wonder if Hat Man is something that's built into humanity's unconscious as a whole.
Maybe. Was there something like a long time ago where there was this crazy guy in a top hat and I don't know, he was after humanity and now it's stuck in our conscious that we have to beware the Hat Man?
Yeah. Maybe
I mean, it's the idea
alien
of the
with a wide head,
right?
Yeah, I mean, basically.
Humans have always been afraid of the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Maybe he's our boogeyman.
I mean, could be. There's, and this is one of those that I really didn't know anything about, and I still don't know a ton about. But it's like I said, it's been really cool to find out. And I would have put him more into like the folklore /
well, he almost feels more paranormal.
I was gonna say ghost.
Ghosty sort of thing.
Section of things, but especially once I kind of made the Doctor Who connection, I was like, you know what, there I do feel like there could be an argument for an extra dimensional entity of some kind.
Could be. I mean, there's stranger stories out there, honestly.
Yeah, and not all of them are even creepypastas. No offense if you like creepypastas.
They're fun.
Some of them probably. I kind of had this chip on my shoulder against creepypastas ever since Slenderman.
Well, it's like The Rake. The Rake is another one. He's super fun.
I'm not familiar with that one.
You haven't seen The Rake?
No.
We will educate you later.
Getting educated, guys. Yeah. No.
But for now, for Hat Man, that one's just... I have a story. Do you want to hear my personal story about what may have been Hat Man?
Okay.
I can't prove it because I didn't see him.
Well,
in my defense, I didn't turn around. So.
Don't Scooby-Doo. Don't tell me. There's something really scary behind me.
If you don't turn around, surely it'll go away, right?
Well, Shaggy hasn't tried that yet.
Seemed to be what happened in my case. So when I was a kid, and later this is kind of corroborated because my sister has told me that she thought the house was somehow haunted or something weird was going on in that house.
Right.
So we used to live in this really nice house. It was a 2-story house. My bedroom was on the 2nd floor. I had a window out to the backyard. And my bed faced where I could either roll over and face the window or I could roll over and face the door. So one Saturday morning, I'm laying in bed and I wake up and I'm just kind of laying there. But I woke up because I felt what I thought was my dad sit on my bed. And, you get that feeling, your parents will come in and, like, sit on your bed, or you'll have a sibling come in, like, jump on your bed, and you feel the pressure, but you don't necessarily feel them, like, bump up against you.
Right.
And my dad is a larger guy, so he came in, I thought he'd come in and sat on my bed. He never did that. But I know it was him because I felt the bed that impression in the bed, where, like, my whole body kind of shifted with the impression.
Right.
And I was like, oh, if he's in here to bother me this early in the morning, he must be, like, maybe I'm in trouble. What happened? What's going on? Or maybe there's something important he needs to tell me. He'll wake me up here in a second. He never did anything. Nothing happened. It was just still and silent, but I could still feel that impression in the mattress. And I was like, I got this fear. I was like, oh, whatever I do, I can't roll over. If I roll over, something bad is going to happen.
Right.
So I just stayed there, didn't move, didn't do anything. I don't know if I fell back asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It must have been at least 15, 20 minutes. I just laid there like that, completely still, completely afraid to move.
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually was like, okay, I have to roll over. I have to get up out of bed eventually. So I rolled toward the door. I do not, you know this, I don't sleep with my door open.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
Never. I just have a thing about it.
It's not a rule, it's a law.
It comes from having little siblings. You know, they'll wander into your room while you're sleeping, and it's just annoying.
They'll take your Game Boy, and they'll release all your Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Bad times. So I, always sleep with my door closed. My door was wide open. And I asked my sisters, nobody had opened my door. They were actually really confused why my door was open. But whoever was on my bed was gone. Nobody was there. And I just got up. I walked downstairs. Hey, was anybody in my room this morning? No. We just thought you were sleeping in. Just didn't even, nothing at all. And I'm like, well, what is a ghost? Why is a ghost just sitting on my bed? Like, that's really creepy in the first place for a person to do that, let alone a ghost. No idea. But what if I had turned around and it had been the Hat Man sitting there staring at me? Because that's all he does. He just stares.
That would have been freaky.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. No.
Could have been anything else as well, but like, what if it had been the Hat Man?
Yeah.
I would have had that experience. It's awful.
Right. And I think part of what makes Hat Man so spooky is that he is kind of a shadow. Mm-hmm. Like it's much easier to feel like you can handle a situation with a quote unquote substantial,
like a physical.
Yeah. Like can you punch Hat Man? Nobody knows.
Nobody's ever been able to try.
Right. Yeah. Like it's I don't know. Like, and I can't claim to have had any sort of personal encounter with any of that. As far as definitively Hat Man or is something that could have been Hat Man. I do have a pretty vivid memory of seeing a shadow move outside our bedroom window when I was I don't know, 3 or 4. But we lived in a very rural area. There were trees right outside the window. Who knows?
Right.
I mean, we even have.
Well, when you're a kid, the size difference, if you think about it, you go anywhere as an adult that you were at as a kid. Mm-hmm. You're like, why does everything seem so different? Like, everything seems smaller now than it used to. Everything was so large when I was a kid.
Yeah, my great grandmother had these hula hoops that I used to play with, and they got put away or something. I didn't see them for a year or whatever. And we got them back out. We found them again, and I was like, "These used to be bigger." And Mom was like, "No, you grew."
You grew up.
And I was devastated because that was one of my big things as a kid. I didn't want to grow up. And B, that was the first time I was probably 6 or more. That was the first time I really had any concept of my size changing my how I saw the scale of things.
Right. Yeah.
So definitely as a real youngin, you don't really have that size scaling. Which I've also never experienced sleep paralysis to say from experience what effect that has on your perception. So I imagine that's kind of spooky.
Yeah, I've never experienced it myself either. I've definitely talked to some people who have, and they say it's one of the most terrifying experiences of their life.
Right.
I have recently read a study where they've done a lot of, testing with the brain during sleep paralysis, and then during, when you're awake. And what they've said is there is actually there's hair flying around the room.
Thanks to the dog.
That's what you get for having dogs. It's okay. But so there's this study that says when you're asleep, your brain has a mechanism that turns off your movement. Mm-hmm. So when you're dreaming, you know, some people will move or talk or they're in their sleep, but there's actually a mechanism that, yeah, you talk in your sleep sometimes. There's a mechanism that keeps you from reacting physically in your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just to keep you and everyone around you safe.
Right.
Because you don't need to, you know, sleepwalking can be extremely dangerous. People who sleepwalk don't necessarily have this mechanism.
Right.
Or it doesn't work appropriately due to different chemicals in their brain. You know, if they eat something funny, maybe they'll start sleepwalking. They haven't quite figured out the perfect connection for that, but they know that that mechanism is there. So the idea is that when you get sleep paralysis, you wake up, but your body and your brain aren't communicating correctly. Your brain has not yet told your body that you're awake.
Right.
So your body is actually turned off. And your brain is just really slow at reacting to that, making it so that any movements that you're telling your body to do, it's like, oh no, we're turned off right now. We can't do that. That's terrifying, though, if you don't know what's happening.
Right.
It's just, but the fact that they figured that that mechanism is actually there is a huge step to figuring out how to, I guess, cure sleep paralysis, or at least get rid of that.
To treat the underlying causes.
Treat that cause, which is wonderful because that affects people in so many different ways.
Right. And which and that's, and it's not necessarily cryptid related, but like waking up and not being able to move is one of the classic spook time tropes.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's kind of what really sold me on Hat Man as a topic for this series is the fact that he kind of combines so many different classic aspects of what creates a spooky creature.
Yeah. Well, there's a famous photo online of Hat Man. The story goes.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. I don't remember her name because I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. But there is a woman. There's a woman online who woke up and she thought she saw somebody in her room.
Right.
So the first thing she did was grabbed her phone, took a picture, and then she realized, oh, wait, there's nobody here. She just put her phone down and went back to sleep. Mm-hmm. Well, later she was going through her photos, probably just checking to see if there's anything she needed to delete. And she found that picture, and lo and behold, there was Hat Man standing there in the doorway with his top hat and everything, or his wide-brimmed hat, or whatever he had on.
Right.
But it's a really creepy photo. And she had no idea. Like, there was nothing else in her house that could be associated with a human figure in a hat, all black, just standing in the doorway. So there is, like, some evidence out, and there's a couple different pictures like that. That story just happens to be the most popular one and the best photo evidence we can find. Right.
And that's one of those things. Once again, I definitely had this filed as paranormal, or maybe psychological. But having real material evidence,
it makes a difference.
Yeah, that shifts things entirely. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, you can take, there are plenty of people out there who've taken pictures of things that appear to be ghosts. That still doesn't make them what I would call necessarily a cryptid, but
no, cryptids and ghosts are definitely two different categories. But this is one where you're like, which category should it be in?
Yeah,
which category?
This guy definitely.
Do we place this one?
Guy could be a shadow gal.
I don't know. A lot of people say they get a very masculine vibe off of him.
Well, I mean, that tracks.
He just seems. He's very masculine, but he's also very controlling, which a lot of people say those go together.
Right.
And sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
They get a very controlling, masculine vibe off of this guy.
That's fair. I mean, he does seem to control the other shadow people sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's...
And I don't think anybody's ever heard him talk or gotten it recorded in any way. There was a girl that fell asleep with her son in their house, and she just had her phone recording. Just, sometimes they'll have their phone recording to see if they sleep talk or something, or hear if the baby cries or something. And she actually heard herself talking to a masculine voice on her recording, and she listened back to it, and she was like, who the heck am I talking to?
Right.
And she said, what are you doing? And I think his response was, nothing, go back to sleep.
Well, how about that?
And I'm like, so either somebody broke into your house, or you're talking to someone that's just, I mean, either way, something was in her house with her.
Right.
And she was too tired.
Yeah.
You know.
Or, I mean, maybe he just does have those powers of suggestion. Like,
could be.
Maybe that's why you can't bloody move. He said, lay still.
Yeah, lay down, don't move.
Stay.
That's even more terrifying, though, that he would be able to tell you to do something. Mind spooky powers.
Yeah, I mean,
not into that either.
No, you gotta make your wisdom save on that.
Yep.
But no, Hatman, guys, if you're not familiar, check him out. He's prime spook season material. We'll be back tomorrow with another exciting episode.
Super fun spoopage.
Oh yes, super fun spoopage.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm Billy. This is Amy. This has been Geek for Sil. That's Ash. He's a butt.
Come here, buddy.
Until next time, guys. Peace.